Did you know only 6.2% of the US population has served in the US military? But the median income for a veteran is higher than the rest of the population. I'm Terrell Higgins, and I served in the United States Navy Submarine Force for 6 years. And being a veteran is one of the key reasons I was able to obtain millionaire status in my 30s. Today, I'm going to be sharing 10 financial hacks that I think every veteran should know and can put you on that trajectory to reach millionaire status. Let's get into it. So the first benefit that I want to discuss are VA loans. VA loans are probably the best benefit from being in the military. And 95% of millionaires have real estate as part of their portfolio. And I know for me, the use of VA loans was critical in achieving millionaire status. So VA loans are so powerful because they allow you to purchase a property with $0 down. And after that property has been your primary residence for 1 year, you can actually leave the property and convert it into an investment property. But the thing no one tells you about VA loans is that you can actually purchase a duplex, a triplex, or a quadplex on a VA loan, live in one unit, and rent out the rest. And if you do this 2 times, it's possible to have 8 doors of cash flowing real estate just by serving in the US military.
What?
So even if you never move out of that property and convert it into an investment property all the way, it's possible to be living rent-free while the other people in that property are paying your rent. And housing costs are by far the largest expense in most people's budget. So if you can live completely rent-free, it's going to free up a lot of money that allows you to invest and grow your wealth for the future. And I know all this sounds way too good to be true, but this is not some kind of fantasy. This is a real benefit that's available to every single military veteran. So the number 2 benefit is the Thrift savings plan. And this is the military's equivalent to the 401k. And since the military has switched over to the blended retirement system, everyone is enrolled in the Thrift savings plan by default. And they will actually match up to 5% of your income in this Thrift savings plan. This is an amazing benefit, and it has very low expense ratios, right around 0.05%. And those fees over time really eat into your money. And a lot of service members, when they transition out, they stay invested in their Thrift savings plan because those expense ratio fees are so much lower than other retirement plans. But what's confusing about the Thrift savings plan is that all the funds just have random letter names, and they don't really do a good job of explaining what all these letters mean. So the default fund that they enroll you in is the G fund. And this is just government investments and securities. So you're really only gonna get standard money market or savings account returns with this G fund, and that is not very good. Your money is going to be slowly eaten away by inflation. So the fund that you really want to get into is the C fund. So the C fund is an S&P 500 fund. So you are mimicking the returns of the S&P 500 by investing in the C fund. And the S&P 500 has returned over 11% a year for the last 20 years. So you will make a ton of money by just parking your money in the C fund. And if you want a more whole life solution, you don't ever want to adjust it or touch it even into retirement, then you could consider investing in the L fund. That is a life cycle fund, but the returns will be slightly less than if you just invested in the S&P 500. You would be amazed what the power of time and consistency will do for your investments. So if you join the military at 20 and you put $100 a month into this C fund that I'm recommending, you would be a millionaire by the time you're 65. And if you keep upping your contributions to this thrift savings plan as you get promoted and you have a little bit more margin in your budget, you will get to millionaire status even faster than that. So the number 3 financial benefit is the GI Bill. And I know what you're thinking. A lot of people don't think about the GI Bill in this way, but you really need to start, because you can use the GI Bill for more than just going to college. You can use the GI Bill to get into apprenticeship programs. So these are amazing careers like HVAC repair, plumbing, truck driving, being a firefighter, a beautician, or a barber. And you can even use this apprenticeship to get into cybersecurity. So these are careers that will make you 6 figures. So you're getting paid to go and get paid. It is an amazing benefit, and one that I actually used when I transitioned out of the military. So I went to go work at a nuclear power plant as soon as I transitioned out of the military, and I was in a training program that actually qualified for GI Bill use. So I was making $90,000 a year from my salary at that company, and then the GI Bill was getting paid on top of it. And it allowed me to save a ton of money and really jumpstart my career after the military. So say you decide to actually use your GI Bill benefit on going to college. One thing a lot of vets don't realize is that every Ivy League school in the nation actually has slots dedicated to US veterans. So don't feel like you shouldn't apply to the Harvards and Yales and MITs of the world, because these schools are looking for you. And they have a program called the Yellow Ribbon Program that will actually pay 50% of any costs that go beyond the 9/11 GI Bill program. So you can get the highest quality education and have access to some of the most powerful networks in the entire country just by being a US veteran. So the median pay for non-Ivy League college graduates is $58,000, but the average pay for an Ivy League graduate is $86,000. That's a 32% advantage to the Ivy League graduate. And it's all because of the network that they're connected to. And that margin only increases as their time in their careers goes on. So the number 4 benefit is VA healthcare. Did you know that 30% of veterans under the age of 45 have no health coverage? And almost 67% of bankruptcies in the United States are due to large medical costs that people have to pay out of pocket. So this gives some credibility to the plot of Breaking Bad.
You're goddamn right.
But if you meet certain requirements for income, discharge status, and disability rating, you can actually get VA healthcare for free. And even if you don't meet all the wickets, you can still get healthcare coverage at a substantial discount using the VA healthcare system. So you can protect yourself from incurring large financial losses or coming out of pocket with way more money than you might have available to you in your early career by using VA healthcare. I've heard way too many stories of people that I've served with running around with no healthcare coverage, and you don't have to do that. So this brings me to my next point, the VA disability program. So you don't have to serve 20 years in the military to keep getting a paycheck from the military. And I'm not telling you to commit fraud here, but You're young, you're dumb, you're serving in dangerous places, you're probably going to hurt yourself in some way. And you don't need to be a tough guy. Every time something ails you, you should go get it documented. Because when you are transitioning out of the military, if they plop down this huge medical record of all these things that you have documented, you're probably going to get paid. And if they only have one sheet of paper for your medical record, you're probably not going to get anything at all. So when I was serving in the military, I hurt my knee, and it was a severe injury. I messed up the lateral, posterior, anterior meniscus and tore my ACL. And I had to go through several months worth of rehab after that surgery to get it fixed. But that was the only documented medical thing in my record. So when I went to go file, I did not get any money. I barely qualified for the lowest possible disability rating. But one of my friends, who was a power lifter when he was in the military, he was constantly having aches and pains in his back and his knees and his shoulders. And he was always going to get that stuff documented. And now he has a high enough disability rating that his VA disability check actually is paying for all of his rent and utilities every single month. And I know none of that sounds fair, but that's just how the system works. So make the system work for you. So number 6 is property tax exemptions and state benefits. And this works a little differently in every single state. And I will leave a link below so you can look up what the requirements are for your specific state. But overall, if you have any sort of disability, you will get a discount on your taxes in a state. And if you have 100% disability, then you will have no property taxes in that state. That's generally what you'll see across the board. But like I said, I'll leave a link below for you to look up your particular state. And if you are active duty military, you might consider changing your state of legal residence to a state with no income taxes. And as long as you have the intent to actually live in that state when you transition out of the military, this is all perfectly legal. And I know when I was transitioning out of the military, I had no intention to go back to the state I came from, just because the cost of living had ballooned out of control. And I was able to take advantage of no income tax coming out of my check from my state of legal residence during the entire time I was in the military. So number 7 is free access to national parks and museums. And this benefit is one of my go-to benefits on vacation. I've gone to countless national parks and museums all across the country because of my veteran status. Whenever you're in a new city or on vacation and you're struggling to find something to fill the time with, look into the national parks and museums in that place, and you'd be surprised how much free entertainment you have as a veteran. So number 8 is USAA and Navy Federal Credit Union. And in my opinion, this is one of the biggest benefits of being a US veteran, because they will do business with you even before you've established a credit history. And they will give you top tier competitive rates on personal loans, car loans, home loans, insurance, and top tier service sorting through any issues that might come up in your finances. And this is not financial advice, but I know when I joined the Navy, I actually took out USAA's Career Starter Loan. This was a $25,000 personal loan at a 2% interest rate. This is as close as you can get to absolutely free money. And a lot of people would take that loan out and they would go purchase a fancy car, or they would put that down payment towards a house, or they would just blow that money partying and drinking. But I had a different plan in mind. I took my career starter loan and I invested it in low-cost index funds. And this was just after the 2008 crash. And that money was able to grow to almost 6 figures by the time I left the military. This jump-started my investing career, and this was one of the main reasons I was able to obtain millionaire status so early in my working career. So number 9 is free financial consulting. And there are a ton of organizations out there trying to take advantage of people who are in poor financial situations. But as a veteran, you have access to top-tier organizations like Veterans Plus, who will help you with budgeting and debt management and sort through any financial situations that come up. So number 10 is veteran hiring. So did you know companies actually get a benefit from the government by hiring people with disabilities or veteran status? So they want to hire veterans. And there are recruiting agencies out there who are looking specifically for military vets to place them into top tier careers in the civilian workforce. So being a veteran is a huge leg up when you are looking for employment. So those are the 10 financial hacks that I think anyone joining the military should know. And if you served in the military, you should absolutely know all these financial hacks. So if you got any value out of my video today, please like and subscribe and share the video so more and more people can hear this message. And if you're curious what else I learned from my time in the military, I actually did an entire video on all the lessons I learned from serving in the US Submarine Force. Thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you guys next time. And purchase a property. Why are you like this, cat? Why are you trolling me? No, bro. Jesus.